So here are my Hickory Epicotyl grafts. I just want to show you some interesting things that are going on. So all of these bins right here are Snack Shack grafts over pecan. And they're all pushing really early. And a lot of these are over pecan. You know, 2/3 of these are all over pecan. But Snack Shack is pushing first, then bench press, and this is some bench press as well. One thing I want to point out that has historically been the case, and I'm still trying to figure out the pattern. So almost all of, actually all of the graft wood that I used this year was from the top of the tree, because I found that that got better take rate in previous years. And like in this case, there's 3 buds here. This one's really small, it hasn't broken yet, but it is swollen. So that's going to be 3 out of 3 take. That doesn't mean they'll all survive. This is 3 out of 3 take in here. This is 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3. Yep, 3 out of 3. One's really swollen. Now that could die, but 3 are fully going. This is, again, 3 out of 3. This one hasn't pushed all the way yet, so we got 1 out of 3. We're only 2.5 weeks into the callousing. So it's still early in the process. And yeah, this bench press, so out of these 4, there's 2 that are clearly swollen. This one maybe looks a little swollen, and we'll see. That doesn't mean they failed yet. Usually we wait till about 4 weeks to start throwing them away, because that just means even at 4 weeks, they might still be alive after 4 weeks, but that doesn't mean they're going to be vigorous. One thing I wanted to point out that's really interesting here is, so this is bench press. This is growing entirely different than the rest of the grafts. Now, I do think my grafts are growing better than in past years. Like in past years, I've gotten about 1 inch of growth, 2 inches sometimes, but they've been from non-vigorous buds on the tree where it was collected from. Now, all of the buds I used this year are the biggest that I could get from the tree. So this might be Southeast F10 Swaim from Weschke's property. I couldn't get any buds bigger than that, even though I climbed to the top of the tree. But generally I'm using quite large buds like these guys. And that seems to increase take rate, and it might increase vigor. But the number of leaf buds set in the bud, so it's my belief, though I haven't been able to prove this yet, that the number of leaf stems coming off of the growth is highly related to what the tree was expecting to do the previous year. Now, it doesn't seem perfect, but it does seem highly related. And the vigor seems to also be related to the size of the bud. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 leaflets going on. Maybe it's just because something is somehow different about this, and it's like it's growing in a different way. It's growing a thick stem really vigorously and not expanding the leaves until later. It's growing like a seedling, and generally they don't do this. Generally they're expanding more like on a tree when you if you watch a leaflet or a bud unfurl on a tree, it'll be more like this, where they're all kind of formed, they all get really big, and then the stem is really short, and then it, you know, maybe produces a nut if it has the calories. But apparently the nuts are differentiated that year. So I've never seen any nutlets form on these Epicotyl grafts, but somehow this guy's special. This guy is acting like a seedling. The other guys are not. And so I got to figure out what's different about this. It could be that the bud's like underneath the ground. I kind of doubt it. It could be that the bud's vertical. I never used any terminal buds, so I don't think that's it. Terminal buds tend to just die, or not always, but they have more of a propensity to swell too early before the callus is fully formed and die. So I generally use large non-terminal buds for grafting. But this is not a terminal bud, and why is it doing that? I noticed after making that last video that actually this one's doing it too, and it's possible that this guy's doing it as well. We're gonna have to see how things unfold, but they look like different growth habits. Well, after producing the last video, I realized that this guy actually has nutlets on it. Hard to see, pretty fuzzy, but that's actually a cluster of nutlets. This is a S328 from Badger Set, and this is the first time I've ever seen nutlets form on an epicotyl graft. That means, I think it means that I pushed the growth so hard somehow, somehow I did something right, where I got the graft to produce nuts. Now that doesn't mean like it's not good for it. I'm still gonna pluck them off, but like none of these other guys did it, and these are all on the same bearing schedule and everything. So yeah, they're just all producing terminals. But yeah, so this guy and this guy are distinctly different. This is important to note. This might be somehow the fix to epicotyl grafting and getting vigor. I think part of it might be that I've been fertilizing with urine and that the bud is at ground level. Maybe it's like swelling and filling with urine foliarly, kind of. I don't know.